Welcome to Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey for New York Red Bulls 2 hosting the Harrisburg City Islanders here on the USL YouTube channel. I'm David Goss, joined by Andrew Wiebe for this one. New York Red Bulls 2 got their first home victory of the season, extending their regular season unbeaten streak to 12 games in the last game, and they host Harrisburg City coming in to their 14th season in the USL. It should be a good one. Harrisburg City coming in with a number of new players this season, getting off to a rough start, a 1-0 loss on the road at Richmond, but they've got a lot to look forward to. And Andrew, one of the big ones is Aaron Wheeler back for his second season and finally healthy.
Yeah, it was a big part of their 2016 campaign. When he went down, he had that injury to his shoulder, a collarbone, that unfortunately broke early in the year. He had 5 goals, and he's a guy they look at and say, this is someone who can guide our attack. This is someone who can lead that line. This is someone who can double-digit goals and take us back to the playoffs. Of course, they haven't been there since 2014 when they were in that final. They want to get back. So many draws last year. This year, it's all about the W's, but this will be a difficult one here at Red Bull Arena.
Bill Beecher in his 14th season, he's gone to 3 USL Cup championships. You mentioned that 2014 one, the stats there for Aaron Wheeler coming out of Towson University, played a number of years in Major League Soccer with the Philadelphia Union, now working his way back to Pennsylvania and playing with the Harrisburg City Islanders. And on the other side for New York, Zico Lewis got his first goal of his professional career in his first game and got the win last week.
Yeah, the game winner in the first ever game at MSU Park in Montclair State. It wasn't a pretty goal. There's no doubt about that. He cleaned up a little bit of a loose ball after Assam Mdam had a bicycle kick in the box, but Zico Lewis won't care. He's a guy who came into this Red Bulls organization saying, I'm going to prove the doubters wrong. My spot in the Super Draft was not where I thought I should have been. He's got another opportunity here to get against Harrisburg. 10-1 was a cumulative score last year between these two teams, and Red Bulls 2 favor. There could be some goals in this one.
Yeah, Zico Lewis, not an understated person at all, telling every team that passed them up, the 16 before New York Red Bulls, that they're going to pay. Ryan Mira leading this team out for the first time in 2017. He was captain in 2016 when this team won the USL Cup Championship, as well as the Supporters Shield. They received those rings earlier today, and now they have an opportunity to continue to try and defend that title here in 2017. We're going to step aside for the national anthem, and we'll be back with all your first half action here on the USL YouTube channel. Well, the Rampage is out here. The supporters for New York Red Bulls 2 ready to go, as are the teams. And let's look at the starting lineups for Harrisburg City. Under Bill Belcher, as we mentioned, his 14th year. A number of changes coming out of the Richmond, a 1-0 loss on the road. Now starting, he's still yet to play a home game.
Yeah, look, you got some changes for Red Bulls, too. And you have some first-teamers coming back. Brandon Allen is the big name coming back up top for Red Bulls, too. Of course, 15 goals last year, the USL Rookie of the Year. He'll be a guy they look to produce up top. Zico Lewis in. Alex Muil, though, is someone who has really performed at the first-team level for the Red Bulls. He's in on that right flank, the pressure, the athleticism, the final product. That's what John Wolniak will be looking for in this game. Across the back line, look for Michael Murillo. He's the guy who's making his debut. He played 62 minutes in the preseason friendly with these two teams, but in this case, he's got some time to figure out, get his feet underneath him, maybe play some games for the first team.
So the starting lineup there, Brandon Miller, 2015 USL Goalkeeper of the Year, returns in goal. Jamie Thomas moves in to the back line in place of former New York Red Bull 2 player, injured Sean McClaws at right back, a similar midfield. And then, as you mentioned, those starters for New York Red Bulls 2, Brandon Allen, leading goal scorer, his first game in USL this season, Alex Muil out on the right. The midfield remains the same, and Michael Murillo making his American professional soccer debut.
Yeah, look at Vincent Bezecourt. He scored 6 goals last year in USL. 4 of those goals were against Harrisburg City. So he's a guy to look at this game and say, there's some production here for me. He also assisted Florian Velo on the only goal the Red Bulls 2 scored in that preseason friendly, a 1-1 draw. Aaron Wheeler got the other goal in that game. No Velo in this game. They'll have to figure out how to get by without him.
At 5:30, about an hour and a half ago, these players received their rings, the ones that are carries over from 2016. How does that affect how this team plays? Because Dennis Hamlet came up on stage and said, you guys are playing with a target on your back this season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This team has a target. You look at their goal differential, look at some of the performances. You can look at what they did to this Harrisburg City team last year. You got a 5-0 loss for Harrisburg at home to this Red Bulls 2 team. 4-1 in Lancaster, also a home game. Remember, Harrisburg City split time last year. So they've got some wounds, so to speak, inflicted by this Red Bulls 2 side. On the flip side, Harrisburg City think they're a better team than last year. And they also think that those scorelines didn't accurately reflect their performances in those games. They've got something to prove here. Not just the Red Bulls 2, but the USL. They want to get back in the playoffs.
As you see, Alex Chilowicz, our head official, Joe Fletcher, and Sean Regan, his assistants, and Carlos Gonzalez Escobar, our fourth official. About to kick off here, one of 2 games New York Red Bulls 2 will play here at Red Bull Arena, where they won the 2016 USL Cup Championship, and we are off and ready to go. Jamie Thomas in at right back. He was an original New York Red Bull 2 player in 2015, now in his second season with Harrisburg City Islanders. Harrisburg looking to work the ball up the field to start. Looks like a free kick will go against New York Red Bulls 2. Mike Ola, a Bloomfield, New Jersey native, number 13. He's the one that draws, a throw-in. Mike Ola, a graduate of Montclair State University, the new and permanent home of New York Red Bulls 2. A mistake here. Manolo Sanchez is in on goal. Ryan Meara comes out, gets a touch. Second opportunity coming for the Islanders, and it's blocked away. John Gross coming in there behind the play, but almost a big mistake there for New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, sloppy defensively. You got to know where that guy on the back post and that back channel is. Nearly let the ball run, but a great play by Ryan Meara. Comes out strong, is aggressive, gets a piece. Harrisburg City just can't capitalize with the goalkeeper out of his net.
So Manolo Sanchez, the third former New York Red Bull 2 player who's playing on Harrisburg City. It was his opportunity. Corner kick played in here, wide open on the far post. It's headed away by Dan Metzger. Good touch on the top of the box, and then Mohamed Abbas's shot goes high.
Abbas is a guy that this team is really high on. A young left back out of Ghana, just arrived this year, made his first start against Richmond in that opening game. And you mentioned the scoreline, 1-0. You said, unfortunate. Well, I think Harrisburg City looks at that game and says unlucky, because they dominated the match in terms of all the statistical categories. They had about 60% of the ball. This is a team that wants to play. They want to create chances. Aaron Wheeler missed a PK in that match. They just didn't have the cutting edge against the kickers. They'll look for it against Red Bulls too.
PK missed in the first 15 minutes by Wheeler, and then a goal off a free kick for Richmond.
Well, maybe saved is the right way to put it. Travis Wara with a big save for Richmond.
And Aaron Wheeler trying to get his account open early this season, as we mentioned. Prolific goals per game last year, but didn't get enough games under his belt. Brandon Allen, of course, fantastic goal scorer last year, USL Rookie of the Year, and USL Cup MVP with a hat trick against Swope Park Rangers. Hassan Endam back to handle this one, the Cameroonian youth international in his first season here in the United States. Long touch there. Murillo, a rough start so far. Let that ball play through to allow Sanchez in, and that long touch as he tries to get around Murillo, loaned down from the first team in this one. Panamanian international was on the bench against the national team. Got a couple minutes against Trinidad and Tobago, but those 7 minutes are the only minutes he's played in about a month and a half.
Yeah, it's been a tough start for him in his Red Bulls career, but he's a guy with a lot of potential, and it's at a position that Red Bulls really need to add some depth at. Just 21 years old, on loan for the year from San Francisco FC down in Panama, but he's already got 9 caps for the national team.
Manolo Sanchez charging in once again. He's already made something happen. Plays that ball off. Bilyeu closes, and he's able to clean it up there right in front of the feet of DePrima. And that ball mistakenly played behind by Bezecourt, and it'll roll out for a throw-in. A nice cool evening here in Harrison, New Jersey. Red Bull Arena hosted all but 2 home games. New York Red Bulls 2 last season, and it'll host just the 2 this year. As New York Red Bulls 2 will face off in a doubleheader with New York Red Bulls. Both teams playing LA opposition, LA Galaxy and Los Dos, later on this season. Thomas with the header in front of Lewis. DePrima does well to play this one out wide. Now Ola charging forward. He beats one defender, and the help there from Basulovic. Bezecourt playing in that central role in this 4-2-3-1, a new formation for New York from last 2 weeks where they played a 4-2-2-2. Basulovic pushes it wide to Allen. Basulovic and Allen playing together in Georgetown along with Alex Muil. The first time they'll play together as professionals, as Basulovic now in his 3rd professional soccer game.
Both teams really relying on local products, and you look at the roster for Harrisburg City, and you mentioned it, 3 Red Bulls 2 products, but the Northeast is really where they pull their talent in from in the majority of these players. Same for Red Bulls 2, and that's one of the things that you can hang your hat on as a member of this Red Bulls organization. You're looking for players that can identify with the club, that can identify with the system, that will be invested and perhaps be invested enough and talented enough to fill a cog at the first team level with the Red Bulls and MLS. But they've had so much success with those players at USL. Even the guys that, after 2015, the Manolo Sanchez's of the world, that didn't stick with the club, still continuing their professional careers elsewhere.
You talk about local talent, and maybe no one as talented from the Harrisburg City area as Bobby Warshaw played with this team and captained them last year. He's gone, as is Jose Barril, who was 2nd team all USL. So they have more depth, but they missed 2 key pieces. How does that change this team?
Yeah, Craig Foster gone as well, their leading goal scorer with 8 goals last season. Jose Barril was a 2nd team USL player, 6 goals, 7 assists. It's a lot to lose. There's no doubt that he's a guy they didn't want to see go. But when you look at this roster and the new investment that's come in.
Cross comes in from Maria. Comes out to Zico Lewis, who bangs a shot, and it goes off a defender.
That looked like it was on frame. Unlucky from Zico.
It was a big switch of the field from Bilyeu to open it up. Murillo starting to find his feet here. He now cuts in, gets it to the feet of Muil. Muil coming into the box. Chance to shoot, plays it to Allen. Allen with the left-footed shot, and it's blocked once again.
You'd like to see Muil pull the trigger there. He had an opportunity. He had what looked like an angle, maybe not confident in that left foot to apply the finish.
Muil now playing in that central role. He played 5 games for New York Red Bulls 2, the first 5 games of the season last year before going up and playing with the MLS team. Ended up having an incredible season at the Major League Soccer level. Going on to start 20 games. Down now and started in preseason. Had a facial bone broken against the New England Revolution in preseason. We saw him wearing a mask. He's already appeared 4 times in MLS with 2 starts. Getting a chance to maybe get a little bit more into his legs here with this midweek game, and he already takes a knock to the face.
Yeah, get his rhythm going, get 90 minutes. You can see he went down quickly off that. I have to imagine it's still a tender issue for him. Anything up in that facial region, he's not going to be too happy about. Looked like just a stray hand in the midfield. Not something to be too concerned about or upset about from Will, but coming off now, he'll get back to the game quickly, it appears. But going back to Harrisburg City, new investment, a new majority owner for this club. George Altiers comes on. He had been formerly with the Wilmington Hammerheads. Comes in, and it appears the roster, while losing some top-end talent, has become much deeper. And this team is one that feels they should have been in the playoffs last year. Just some depth issues, some issues on the back line. 54 goals allowed was just not good enough over the course of the year. They expect to be back. Their expectations are that they'll be one of the top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference. Whether they'll live up to that is an entirely different question.
2014 ended a 6-year, 2015 ended a 6-year streak of the postseason. 2007 champions of USL. They beat the Richmond Kickers in penalty kicks. 2011 lost to Orlando in the championship. In 2014, we already mentioned, to Sacramento Republic. Of course, Harrisburg City in 14 years. One of the giants of the game here in America. They've knocked off 5 MLS teams in US Open Cup play, 2 of those against the New York Red Bulls. In 2010 and 2012, trust me, a game that everyone here in New York remembers.
A little bit slippery out there. Some players slipping and sliding.
Vasiljevic gets the call go against it, maybe handball after he went down under no contact. Arun Vasiljevic, his first year as a pro, had an assist in the opening 10 minutes against Pittsburgh in their first game of the season, a 3-3 draw. A quieter second game, but a player that Coach Wolinek's really impressed by.
Yeah, so comfortable on the ball, and he's had a little bit of an adaptation process here with Red Bulls too, because the way you played in college is not necessarily the way that this club wants you to play once you enter the pro level. You've got to commit on the defensive side of the ball. You've got to be someone who covers ground, who's aggressive in the tackle, but who can also play quickly and directly once the ball turns over. And, of course, that's the crux of their system here. Get that pressure going, get the ball, and get toward goal. And right now he's really shown his quality, but he's still kind of figuring out exactly how Wolynek wants him to play.
Another set piece now, dead ball going in favor of Harrisburg City. The Islanders yet to play a home game. They'll kick off with their home opener against in-state rival Bethlehem Steel on Saturday, April 15th. That'll be their first game of the season at FNB Field. Of course, they have in-state rival Pittsburgh as well, the Keystone Derby that they'll play later on this season.
Later this month, actually. April 29th, going down to Pittsburgh. Huge game for them. Finally won that Derby series last year after losing it in year one. It was a goal fest in year one. I think 27 goals scored.
Yeah, it came down to a playoff spot between the two of them. David Najem with the throw-in. Najem in his second season. His brother Adam Najem, another Red Bull Academy player, going to the Philadelphia Union. Fans, make sure you tune into the USL's weekly show on Sirius XMFC Channel 85 on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest news and information from around the league. And don't forget, Sirius XMFC will air the National Game of the Week. Go to uslsoccer.com to check that. This cross comes in. Sanchez brings it down, and the right-footed shot is blocked. Another dangerous opportunity falling to the feet of Manolo Sanchez.
Yeah, and great hold-up play from Aaron Wheeler. That's really where this chance came from. He's surrounded by three players on the right sideline. Tight space, fights him off, finds some feet. Some good combination play from Harrisburg City. That's an opportunity they'll want back. Maybe pull the trigger a little bit quicker and text Ryan Mira.
Mira came out quickly in the opening minute to take that ball off the feet of Sanchez to keep this game level. As you see, the Harrisburg City coaching staff, it'll be Danny DePrima to take this set piece in his second year with the City Islanders. He floats this one in. Initially won by Metzger. Now Zico Lewis looking to clear. Bezecourt trying to let the ball run. He does. He's chased from behind. Brandon Allen gets pulled down in the middle of the field. And finally, our head official, Alex Chisowitz, making the call.
Smart play defensively there.
You see
Bezecourt out on the run. You got to keep him from getting out into open space. That's where this team can kill you.
You see Coach Wolynek there up talking to his team. Harrisburg City said they wanted to come in and make New York uncomfortable in the first 15 minutes to try and get away, to ebb at their confidence a little bit. Seems to have been successful.
Yeah, they not let that pressure get to them so far, and they've had the better of the chances. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Their combination play, especially on these flanks, has been very good, and we knew Aaron Wheeler could be a top-level forward in USL. Just unfortunate for him that he got that collarbone injury last year, but his hold-up play is going to be key for this team. A lot of smart, tidy players running off him, not necessarily players who'll bust out the spectacular, but the passing ability we know is there, and if they can use that pressure and that desire to get at the ball, maybe unbalance this Red Bulls back line, there's chances to be created on those wings.
Murillo with the quick touch, and Sanchez comes back helping defensively. Bangs that one off wheel. Harrisburg coming out in a 4-3-3 that, when they're not on the ball, seems to drop into more of a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1 to help them sit defensively. They conceded 54 goals last year, something that they saw as a serious issue. They bring in Brandon Miller, the 2015 goalkeeper of the year, to try and solidify that position, and he now in his second start of the season.
Yeah, just didn't get a ton of opportunities last year with OC Blues, but had just an incredible stat line with the Rhinos in 2015, and they're hoping he gets back to that sort of form given the opportunity here with Harrisburg. But the other big thing for this team, as you see the ball played out of play right now for another facial injury.
Yeah, it looks like DePrima down holding his face.
Is the center back tandem. That was a place they identified where improvement was needed. And they bring in a guy in Lee Nashanian who has played a couple years with LA Galaxy too, some successful years with that franchise. And then as well on the other side, Travis Brent, who spent the last few years in the Netherlands. And both those guys are players that they expect to help lead this line to solidify things, to play out of the back a little bit better because they have the players through the midfield and the forward line that can hold on to the ball, that can create chances, but you've got to get the ball to their feet in good positions, and that's what they hope for the center back combo.
Harrisburg, a team normally composed of very young players. They get the chance to bring in an experienced player as well, like Thiago Calvano, a Brazilian, 35 years old, coming off an NASL best 11 with Minnesota United. He was a Golden Ball nominee with that team. Just another piece to that center back tandem, potentially, as Zico Lewis gets pushed off the ball. Now he gets the slide tackle in, but still possession kept well by Rashid Olabi'i. New York getting their standard high pressure going now, as they don't allow Harrisburg to clear their lines, and now everyone in the Harrisburg defensive half for both sides. Good ball into the middle. Basulovic plays it off. Alex Muil making the run. The left-footed cross is blocked, and it'll go out for a corner kick.
Harrisburg happy to let them play into those channels, though. What you don't want, if you're the Islanders, is to give Brandon Allen opportunities in that area in front of the goal where he can find an angle and get a shot off. If you could defend crosses, I think that's a good result defensively for you.
It'll be Vincent Bezecourt to take this one. Bezecourt, 2 goals in the opening game this season. The Frenchman with the left-footed service, and it's headed away at the 6, and then Brandon Miller comes out to take it. Miller not really tested so far. Well, New York's had some good possession in the final third. Opening 15 minutes of this one. 3rd game of the season for New York Red Bulls 2. 2nd game of the season for Harrisburg City Islanders. Basulovic knocks that one off the referee. And back now in possession for New York. Brandon Allen trying to stay onside. And it'll be Jamie Thomas out of Silver Springs, Maryland. Pushes that one back to Miller.
Jamie Thomas, a former Red Bulls 2 player, 2015 season. Played a number of games for this club and played right wing in the first game against the Richmond Kickers, but dropped back to right back in this game. An injury forcing that move.
The Gem, another player with a positional switch. We see a lot of players coming out of college, coming out of youth ranks who get moved around once they get to this level to find a spot that fits them. The Gem, more of an attacking midfielder, going to the fullback position here now that he's gotten onto New York Red Bulls 2. Good back heel from Lewis, and now the long ball from Allen, too far in front of Bezecourt. It's taken simply there in the middle by Nishian. Brandon Miller sat on the bench for a number of years in Rochester, only getting 4 starts over the course of 3 years before exploding with that USL Goalkeeper of the Year award in 2015, in which the Rhinos set the record for shutouts in the season and goals conceded. Won a record amount of games, 1-0, and went on to win both the regular season and postseason championship, followed up in 2016 by New York Red Bulls 2, doing the exact same thing.
Johnny Mendoza, the other member of this Islander squad that was on that Rhinos team. 2 guys with championship experience, trying to bring it to what is a young team, but an ambitious team. One that thinks on the attacking side things will be better, and certainly hope on the defensive side there'll be improvements. You mentioned Calvano. He's a guy you expect to eventually earn a starting spot with this team.
Good work by New York pushing forward. Now the cross comes in, and it's cut out right there in the middle. John Grosh handing that one well. The Drexel University graduate. Now Metzger a chance to cross. He crosses low as well. Blocked away. New York with a 3rd opportunity coming here. Murillo floats the cross in, and Brandon Miller out easily to take it. I think a good opening 10 minutes for Harrisburg. New York starting to find their feet a little bit more, though, since then.
And we saw in that Kickers game that when asked to combine with 11 behind the ball, it was difficult going for the Red Bulls. They could hold on to it. It was just that they couldn't create those sort of cutting opportunities. And when they got them, a la Junior Fleming's header that went wide, they just weren't clinical. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to deal with this sort of tactical approach, where Harrisburg's going to clog up this middle area. They're not going to let them pass through. They're not going to let them, have the ball in areas where they're comfortable. Now the question is, can the Red Bulls turn them over once the ball switches? In this case, you see they have it, and there's Aaron Wheeler springing the break once again.
Wheeler with the hold-up play, gets it wide. Ola looking to switch the field into the feet of Wheeler. Wheeler's got acres of space here, 30 yards out. His shot goes off Bilyeu, goes to a teammate. Manolo with the flick, trying to link up with DePrima. Can't fight his way through, and Bilyeu comes away with possession. Now
Good tackle.
Muil looking to go the other way. He gets dragged back and a free kick coming.
Nice little combination play from Harrisburg City. You can see on the outside of the box, and the crux of it is Aaron Wheeler. He's got a heavy shot, no doubt about that. Maybe not the cleanest finisher in and around the 18, but when he strikes the ball, you know it. Fortunate to block there, so Ryan Muir didn't have to deal with that one. But you have to watch out for that combination play, especially in those break opportunities. It can accelerate quickly. Harrisburg City, when they find themselves on the ball, they know what they want to do. They want to combine, and that nearly came off.
New York Red Bull 2 with 5 players on the bench in this one. Junior Flemings, Andrew Tenari, academy player Kevin O'Toole, Tim Schmoll, and Evan Laro, who started the last game in goal, his first professional start and shutout for New York Red Bulls 2. On the flip side, Nick Noble on the bench as a goalkeeper for Harrisburg City, Thiago Calvano, who we mentioned, Paul Wilson and Cardell Benbow, 2 young Jamaican players who have been a part of Harrisburg City the last few years. Chris Hill, a defender on the bench, as is Jake Bond and Popa Mensa. A deeper bench for Harrisburg in this game, although only 3 will play from either side. Ben Mines, an academy player who's played in both games so far this season, not here today. Florian Velo as well, not dressed for this game. Murillo drops a shoulder, and he'll get a free kick going against him.
Mine's really impressed against the kickers in that game, but when you look at these 2 benches, Paul Wilson is a name that jumps out for Harrisburg City. He can definitely make a difference. Right now, though, being kept off the field by Danny DePrima, who's had a really, really nice preseason for the club. Earned his spot, given his opportunity. Now he's got to produce, help them create some goal-scoring opportunities, help set up Aaron Wheeler for some goals this season.
DePrima only 6 starts last season, and you mentioned keeping Paul Wilson out of the starting lineup, who had 4 goals and 6 assists last year. Jamaican Youth International, Zico Lewis and Jamie Thomas continue that battle, which has been fun to watch out here on this near left side. New York Red Bulls 2 in their home white jerseys with red shorts. Harrisburg City Islanders in the all blue kit. Sponsored by Capelli Sports. George Altiers, their new majority owners, sports brand. Great through ball here for Zico Lewis. Wheels touch too long, and Brandon Miller gets in.
Little the outside of the boot there into space. Beautiful stuff from Zico Lewis. The vision to see that right off the bat. Alex Muil will want to have that touch back. That was an opportunity to get that right foot on it, get an angle, and lash it to the back post. As it stands, Brandon Miller's got an easy punt away.
Miller goes long to Wheeler's head, who flicks it on for Ola. Najem trying to shield it out, and he's able to. Mentioned Mike Ola, a Montclair State University graduate of their D3 program, Montclair State University Soccer Park, the home to New York Red Bulls 2. They won their first ever game after unveiling the banner on Saturday, a 1-0 win over the Richmond Kickers. They'll be back on April 14th for a home game against OCB, a 7 p.m. game. Friday night games mean $1 hot dog.
Oh, man, I was going to say, you going to let me have that nugget?
Oh, you wanted that?
I did. I wanted to let the people know that they could go get their dollar dogs. I mean, it's going to be a fun time out there. It's a beautiful little stadium. I do wonder if Mike Ola would recognize the stadium now. All those improvements made, and still more to come, of course. Some construction going on. There'll be some locker rooms that come in, some other facilities, an additional 1,500 seats or so. Great place to watch a game, and a really good crowd the other night. Into the game, loud, enthusiastic. Got to see the home team win 1-0.
Me and Andrew will be broadcasting that game dehydrated after eating 12 hot dogs.
Can I also add that there are $5 beers out at MSU Park? So you've got a nice Friday night going for you there. Some good soccer and some good fun.
Harrisburg takes that ball off of New York and launches it long. Bilyeu back to maintain possession. Bilyeu and Endom started in the last game together after Tim Schmoll got the start in the first game. Didn't have a lot of work to do against Richmond. A shaky start to this game. It's quieted down, though, for those 2 center backs here over the last 10 minutes. Endom, a player that New York Red Bull club was very excited about 2 years ago when they got him in to train in 2015. Weren't able to sign him, tried to keep it quiet. Now they got him back here in 2016, and he started and played 90 minutes in these first 2 games.
Yeah, you can see he has the frame for it. He has some good instincts. Still working on some of the timing when it comes to tackles, still getting some of the distribution out of the back right. But he's a guy with a lot of potential, and if you haven't seen it already, go back and watch those highlights from that Kickers game. An incredible bicycle kick from the big man in the box to set up that Zico Lewis winner.
Lewis with the quick throw-in. Gets the ball back from Basulovic. One-on-one now. Getting into the box past Brent. Puts the cross in. It floats almost through. And now DePrima gets it on the top of the box. Sanchez looking to run the break. He ran these sidelines quite often in 2015 for New York Red Bulls 2. 23 starts in 24 games. Had 4 goals, as well as the first playoff goal in New York Red Bull 2 history. A little historical fact for you to bring back to bar trivia.
Dropping knowledge, huh? Put on my hard hat, make sure it doesn't hit me on the way down. Look, that run from Zico Lewis is exactly what John Wolyniak will want from him. The pace, the touch, the burst, the vision to bring it back across. This is a moment here.
It looks like an early yellow card coming here as Murillo rolls around on the ground holding his ankle. Abbas Mohammed not happy with the call.
Somewhere Jesse Marsh is holding his breath. Here come the motions from Red Bulls 2 players to bring the training staff out. This doesn't appear good, and certainly John Wolyniak won't like to see this just 25 minutes in.
Mohammed there talking to Nishian, his center back partner, trying to calm him down. Just 22 years old. Mohammed was a central midfielder. He's learning how to convert to left back now. Played his whole professional career with Inter Allies FC. One of a number of players out of Ghana and Nigeria, young players on this team. We've seen Harrisburg City bring in a number of young Caribbean players as well as players from Africa. And as they say it, they bring in young players, they take a risk, they try and coach them up, and a lot of times they lose them within a year or two. But that's what this club does, and they've somehow been able to keep that talent line running through and continue to be successful.
Well, you can see where some of these relationships come into play. And Ricardo Brimbo and Paul Wilson, both out of Portmore United, you can see they've developed something. They've developed a sense of trust with that club and the people around it in Jamaica to be able to bring in some talented players. Both of them on the bench, both very, very talented and have the ability to be starters on this team if they can push their way in. Also, both those guys coming from Inter Allies. And Abbas Mohammed is a guy they really like. Just 22 years old, but has a lot of skill, a lot of ability. When you're talking about a left back with that left foot, that's a commodity. There's no doubt about it. If he can play above average, there's a chance that MLS clubs could come sniffing around, at least to see. Maybe get him to training, maybe see if he can translate to the next level.
Harrisburg City out here on the road, tied 0-0 against New York Red Bulls 2. New York Red Bulls 2 currently 12 matches in the regular season unbeaten, 17 overall if you include the postseason and championship. Last year, looking to make that 18 here. Harrisburg City, as you mentioned, not a victory last year against New York, getting outscored 10-1, trying to turn that around here in their 14th season. Bezecourt draws this free kick. 4 assists last season. Potentially can add to that here on this set piece. It looks like Basulovic alongside him.
Set piece is an area where Red Bulls 2 will want to take advantage. The lone goal Harrisburg has given up this year was a Connor Shinowski, that game winner at Richmond in front of more than 8,000 fans via set piece. A little bit of a scrappy goal. Got to get in here and defend if you're the Islanders. Get the ball out of the danger area. Make sure you clear. Don't get too cute.
Murillo at 6 foot joining in the middle there. Bilyu, Metzger, Brandon Allen. It will be Bezecourt who floats it in, and it bounces into the chest of Brandon Miller.
Just over Brandon Allen's head. A nice little bit of service to that near post. The run not tracked. You can see here, just floated over. Keep it on net. Oh, just didn't quite time his jump right.
Bilyu rises to win this header. Thomas puts it back in now to Jem. A little bit of ping pong between these two teams. Najem battling through. Zico Lewis is touched too long and now trying to go back the other way. Grosh Able to push off one defender. Goes wide for Sanchez. Chance to shoot. A slide tackle made by Murillo and out for a goal kick.
Great call there. Back up off him on that. Manolo Sanchez with a beautiful run, but the ball was even better. A nice weight on that right into the path of his left foot. That was a really good opportunity to play through the lines and play through that center back gap for Harrisburg. And that's where their opportunities will come, where it's a little bit of a battle for the ball in one of these sidelines near the midfield area. If they can turn, beat a man, all of a sudden it's even numbers, and they've shown they've got the ingenuity to break that down.
It was DePrima on that through ball, playing in that attacking role in front of Grosh.
Really getting an opportunity here, a guy that I don't think many thought would be a starter to get things going for this Harrisburg City Islanders team with the likes of Paul Wilson, etc., also in the squad. But
onside here from Wheel on the far side. He gets the chance to shoot. Miller punches it away. New York trying to get a second bite at it. They get it to the feet of Allen in the box, and he gets it knocked away. Brandon Allen there right in his office in that 6-yard box. Big save made by Brandon Miller as the free kick goes in favor of Harrisburg City.
What a reaction save this is, and what a ball this is. You've got to watch out. Alex Muil hanging out here on the right side. Good touch, gets it down off the half volley. That thing was smoked. Great reaction save from Brandon Miller there.
Muil, a goal in 5 appearances in USL last season before heading up to the Major League Soccer team, where he had a big year, as I mentioned before, scored 2 goals, including the first ever goal for a New York City player in the New York Derby at Yankee Stadium in that 7-0 victory over NYCFC. I think a lot of Red Bulls fans remember that
like
game.
to be reminded of that game? I can't imagine why. Will, a guy who understands how Red Bulls want him to play, both at the first team and USL level, a guy who gets the whole pressure system, the concept, the tactical responsibilities that he has, and that's why he's had so much success.
Vasilovic pushing it wide. Zico Lewis's cross is blocked by Thomas. A foot race to the rebound. Thomas able to battle Lewis away, gets a little bit of help, and finally cleared out of there by Ulabii. Back in play quickly for New York. Bilyeu rolls it over to Ndom, and once again, everyone except Ryan Mira in the half of the field at Harrisburg's defending. A mistake on that deflection. Will trying to beat Harrisburg too, and he's able to get it in front of Sanchez. Now Murillo to the feet of Metzger. New York looking to knock it around and find some openings once again, and it rolls out, this time for a corner kick. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Brandon Miller yelling at his back line right now. Had a quiet first 15 minutes, has had a very busy second 15.
Yeah, Red Bulls too starting to find their rhythm, starting to find the ball and get it pinned down here in this attacking third.
Bezecourt will take once again. He's taken every set piece so far this game. The in-swinging left footer. He plays it in at the near post. It's headed away by DePrima. Murillo gets it back to Bezecourt's feet, and he's called offside. Simple call there for the for the assistant referee. Just over 30 minutes played here in the first half. 0-0 between these two teams. New York took over 60 minutes to find the opening goal in their last home game against Richmond, a 1-0 victory at Montclair Soccer Park. Harrisburg City, as we mentioned, still yet to score a goal this season. So looking to open up that account as Bilyeu launches that one far. Scored 37 goals last season on the whole year. I mentioned New York Red Bulls too, with a record-breaking season. They scored 61.
Big difference in goal differential as well, because this Harrisburg City squad allowed 54 goals, and that was a big issue for them. They got blown out, including twice by this Red Bulls 2 squad. Still managed to have a very respectable record, just didn't quite sneak into the playoff field. They think the improvements that they made, that'll make the difference for them this year. Just more depth in this team, and you're still wondering, though, after one game, where the opportunities, where the goals will come from. I've created a number of chances here, just haven't found the finish, and Aaron Wheeler can't be the only guy they rely upon for production. Some others are going to have to step up. I think it's still yet to be seen who those will be. after Jose Barrio left for Oklahoma City Energy.
A number of chances falling to Sanchez's feet, who played last year with San Antonio, 2 years ago, as we mentioned, with New York. He's had 3 or 4 good looks. Mohammed closing hard there on Murillo. He gets beat out of the play. Great read there by Brent. And now Harrisburg will look to clear their lines. Jamie Thomas clipping it up. The sideline, Bilyeu colliding there. And a free kick will go in favor of New York, it looks like, at the last second. Ola B.E. making the deep run out of midfield. Another big-time prospect on this team out of Nigeria. New York Red Bulls 2 now knocking it around. They really put their foot on the ball here over these last 15, 20 minutes, starting to take control of this game, but still yet to find that opening goal. A turnover here.
But that's the possession that Harrisburg will gladly give them. That kind of crescent around the midfield line where center backs, outside backs are just exchanging the ball, looking for a low percentage pass. This is where the Red Bulls 2 want to be, turning the ball over, pushing, being direct, finding that path towards goal.
Murillo gets it forward. He puts in a lofted cross over the head of everyone. Jamie Thomas trying to deal with it. Zico Lewis brings it down. Chance here for Basulovic, just over that far post.
Didn't have the dip there, but once again, great work from Zico Lewis. Sees the trajectory of the ball. Not a good cross, I thought, initially from Michael Murillo, but finds its way to a Red Bulls 2 player. And you can see here, he shields him as it drops, and that first touch to turn inside, and then the vision to find Basulovic. That's a good opportunity with the left foot. Just didn't quite have the dip on that he might have wanted to sneak it inside the back post.
The New York Red Bulls as a club, such an interesting team because at times the more possession they have, the more it hurts their offense because of their ability to create chances off turnovers. You saw there a turnover, and then they're able to create a better chance after pressuring Harrisburg City.
I think you're going to see a lot of teams this year give Red Bulls 2 the ball.
Ola comes out wide. One-on-one with Bilyeu, puts in the early cross, Endom there to cover. Now Jamie Thomas will play it back, putting his back line under a little bit of pressure. Brent now looking for a teammate. Passes the ball off and then yells at his teammates for not moving off the ball more. The Gem heads it down. Ola B.E. with the pass, and Ola called for the handball.
As I was saying, the Red Bulls 2, I think, are going to have a lot of the ball this season because there's no reason to try to play out of your own end against this team. Their goal differential, their dominant 2016 season tells you that that's just a fool's errand, and you're liable to get blown off the pitch if you do that. You've got to pick your moments against this team. You've got to be compact, and you've got to make them prove that they can break you down with numbers behind the ball. And so far, at least in the most previous game, that wasn't the case. We'll see if Harrisburg can replicate what the Kickers did or whether it's a goal fest, as we saw in that opening game against Pittsburgh.
Allen with the layoff. Basulovic shooting again, and it goes wide. Once again, looking for that upper 90, this time on the left side of the goal.
Left foot before, right foot this time. Just can't quite find the target. But nice combination play, and it's this ball right here in the layoff. Great vision, great instincts from Basulovic. Get it off, positive touch, take a hit, see what happens.
Last year, New York Red Bulls 2 played the same formation. Both Florian Velo and Junior Flemings were players out on the wing in the role that Lewis and Wheel were playing. They started up top in the first 2 games this season. Now you get Brandon Allen back, a true center forward. Andrew, how have you seen that change the way this team's played so far?
You've seen Allen just be a great fulcrum for them. Not necessarily a danger man in front of goal just yet, but certainly someone who has the touch and the vision to set up his teammates. You see the brawn there that Aaron Wheeler's trying to throw it around. But Brandon Allen, a finisher, no doubt about that. He wants to get in behind those center backs, get into the channels. Has not yet had those opportunities, but the big difference between these two teams last year, and as we mentioned, 10-1 cumulative between the two, is that the Red Bulls were ruthless. When they got opportunities, they finished them. Harrisburg City just weren't able to do that, and right now neither team, though pretty even on the chance creation, has found that final piece of the puzzle.
Basulovic over the top, too long from Wheel. It'll go to the feet of Miller. Miller making that big punch save on Wheel, the best chance of the game so far for New York. Metzger with the slide tackle, and it rolls out, and it looks like it'll be a New York throw-in, though. Throw goes in quickly. Brandon Allen trying to get in on goal. A little bit of contact. He stays with the play, and he's able to win a corner kick. So another set piece coming here for New York. Yet to make one pay off for them in this first half. Trying to get that opening goal late in this half.
Need to beat the first man. Last corner kick from this spot. Bezecourt, his service easily cleared out. Got to get into the mixer, see if somebody can get on the end of it, maybe the Ndam.
It'll be Bezecourt to take, low at the near post, flicked on by Allen, and it goes out for a goal kick. Final 7 minutes of the first half here. Fans, make sure to tune into the USL's weekly show on Sirius XMFC Channel 85 on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest news and information from around the league. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the national game of the week. Go to uslsoccer.com for that, as well as for all your other information about the USL. An unbelievable opening 2 weeks so far for the league. A number of new teams, incredible facilities, stadiums, crowds around the league. Great level of competition as it enters 2017. Right now, Harrisburg City not happy with the call.
Absolutely puzzled about that one, as am I. That was a back heel straight out of bounds from Justin Bilyeu.
As you am, Green Eggs and Ham. David Goss and Sam I am here in the booth at Red Bull Arena. Justin Bilyeu here on the ball, starting at left back against the Seattle Sounders in MLS, starting at center back against the Richmond Kickers, and now his third start of the year. Total cumulative play. Playing at left center back once again for New York Red Bulls too. The New York Red Bulls will face off against Orlando City down in Orlando this weekend. So a few different options for this game as it's a midweek game. Wheel coming back, picks that ball up. Gets it to Basulovic, charging forward. The left-footed shot's deflected, and Miller's able to take it.
Harrisburg will be fine with those opportunities all day long. You see him push into the midfield here. Bezecourt try to hold off some contact. Deflection there, but that is from a good 25 yards out, an easy path of vision for Brandon Miller. He's not going to have trouble with those.
A couple of headers finally brought down here by Ola Bi'i. Now Ola with the touch. Good work from him. DePrima pushing forward, and he wins a free kick in a dangerous area here for the Islanders in the 41st minute.
Once again, there's that combination play. You find a little space, you draw in the pressure near the sideline, and then you attempt to break back into the middle and go direct. That's where so far Harrisburg City have had their best opportunities. When you draw numbers defensively from the Red Bulls, because remember, they want to hunt that ball. They want to cause turnovers in those areas. So it's almost like a decoy. Bring them in, break that pressure. All of a sudden, you've got even numbers or an advantage on that scenario and push toward goal.
So a free kick coming here for Harrisburg. It looks like Abbas Mohammed standing over this one, the left back. Left-footed service coming here, either shot or cross. Both the center backs, along with Aaron Wheeler, in the box. It will be Mohammed, headed away by Bilyeu. New York with everyone back to defend, trying to press up. Harrisburg hoping to get a second chance at this one. Thomas lofts it in. Wheeler's touch a little bit long. Now Murillo going up the right side. He's able to pull it back. Wheel once again wide to Murillo. Michael Murillo in his first start for New York Red Bulls at any level. Here on this right wing, that pass behind Wheel. And now Wheeler looking to outrun that back line, but it'll be easily taken by Bilyeu. Set pieces have just not been efficient for these two teams so far in this first half.
Haven't found the service, but watch Aaron Wheeler on those. He's not going to be in the pack. He's going to be in that offside position until the Red Bulls 2 back line starts dropping, and that way you can't get that pressure on him, you can't get that contact, maybe get a fistful of jersey. He wants to be free, he wants to rise, and if he can do that, he's very, very dangerous in those situations.
Murillo to the feet of Basulovic, who clips it over to Lewis. Lewis to Bezecourt. Bezecourt can't bring it down, trying to clear the Islanders, and now Jamie Thomas looking to dribble it out. We'll put it out for a corner kick.
One of these days, these muffed clearances are going to drop to someone, and that is an issue for Harrisburg City. I mentioned before that 10-1 aggregate over 3 games from last year. A lot of that comes down to just naive defending from Harrisburg City, and you've got to get that ball out of the danger area when you have the opportunity. A couple have fallen to Red Bulls 2 players so far.
Bezecourt will put in another left-footed corner kick. An outswinger here. Again at the near post, it's headed away by Harrisburg. And it'll be another New York Red Bull 2 corner kick. Dying minutes of the first half, New York Red Bulls 2. Hosting the Harrisburg City Islanders, still locked in at 0-0 between these two teams. Bezecourt clips it into the PK spot. It's headed away, now Najem to the feet of Murillo. Murillo with the long strike, and he puts it in to the upper deck. We have a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time coming up.
The long strike, the long odds. Absolutely no way he was going to beat Brandon Miller from that distance. Got some big eyes there, saw the goal, saw an opportunity. Red Bulls 2 now dropping back and reset.
A big chance falling to both teams. Manolo Sanchez had 2 good looks. Ryan Mira making a save. Brandon Miller, the big save on Alex Muil. What are the 2 coaching staff saying going into the locker room?
I think if you're Bill Betcher, you're happy about this. This is exactly how you wanted things to play out so far. No real clear-cut chances of that wheel opportunity for New York Red Bulls 2, and you've got some opportunities. You've created some good chances, especially down this right wing. Now it's about getting somebody on the end of those in the box and having that finishing touch. Manolo Sanchez will look at his 2 opportunities and say, ooh, man, I should have finished one of those. And if Harrisburg City can get one, I think they've shown already in just 1 game and a half, essentially, that defensively they're much improved from last year. They may be able to hold on to it on the road. It'd be a huge win for them here at Red Bull Arena.
Bilyeu going up the line. This ball stays in. Bezecourt now with the second touch. Lewis turns it over, but Bezecourt comes flying through. A great slide tackle and a free kick going against Harrisburg for the first tackle, not for the slide tackle there.
Winashanian saying, wait a minute, I got all balls, sir, but he brought it back. A good piece of refereeing there.
As we enter that final minute of stoppage time here at Red Bull Arena. Last chance potentially for New York. It's Bezecourt now alone over it with Basulovic making the run in. He clips it into the middle of the box. Miller's out, he punches. Metzger with the second header. And New York get a shot away here. Now Abbas Mohammed trying to guide this ball out. And a New York Red Bulls 2 player down in the middle of the box. It looks like Hassan Endam.
He and Miller collided there. A strong punch, a strong piece of goalkeeping there from Miller controlling his box. Just kind of looked like he glanced the back of Endam's head as he came through that ball.
New York with those additions. Coach Wolenek bringing down Brandon Allen, Alex Muil, Dan Metzger, and Bilyeu, who are already with this team, and Ryan Mira. How has that changed the way they've looked from last week against Richmond?
Well, I think Junior Fleming last week was still working his way into things, both physically and I think just pace of play-wise. You see Alex Muil is sharp. He's direct. He knows what he wants to do. But so far up top, there just hasn't been the quality from those wingers. Muil and Zico Lewis have had their moments, but no real clear-cut chances for Red Bulls. And this is a team, as you mentioned, with that goal differential, with their record-breaking attacking season last year, that's used to creating chances by the bucket load. It just hasn't happened so far. So I think John Wolenek will look at his team and say, okay, what's our opportunity here? How do we break down this Harrisburg team that wants to sit back against us? On the flip side, Harrisburg saying, let's just keep doing what we're doing. 0-0 right now with the better of the chances. This game has gone the way we wanted it to.
Well, it's been a great start for Harrisburg City Islanders. They were outscored 10-1 by New York Red Bulls 2 last season, going into the locker room at Red Bull Arena. 0-0 here on the day that New York Red Bulls 2 gets their rings for their 2016 USL Championship. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment. And don't forget, New York Red Bulls 2, a USL high 36 goals in the second half last season. We have more fireworks to come here on the USL YouTube channel.
raise the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in, and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2. They're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
Ready to go. Big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena.
Wide shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it has scored!
The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire.
Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with them?
David Goss and Andrew Wiebe back here at Red Bull Arena at halftime. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting Harrisburg City Islanders, tied at 0-0. The Harrisburg City Islanders, a much improved team. We talked off the top, much deeper. We talked about star players coming into this one. Aaron Wheeler, the big man up top, who was going to have to try and hold the ball up, try and create opportunities. What have you seen from him so far in this opening 45?
So far, like Brandon Allen, not a goal threat through 45 minutes, but both have been very good in that hold-up play, getting on the ball, finding their teammates running off them, both teams playing a similar system in that way. But I think Aaron Wheeler has shown that certainly in the air, on those long balls, when the back line gets under pressure, he is really a handful to deal with for the back line. But his feet are better than he's given credit for. When you play it into him, he's able to hold on to the ball, hold off multiple defenders, and their best opportunities, Harrisburg, have come when he's laid it off or had a tricky little flick to play in wingers behind.
On the flip side, Zico Lewis scores on the weekend to beat Richmond. Guys score, their name gets pushed to the top of being star players. We highlighted him off the top here, and it looks like maybe in 2 games he's already taken another step. A really good first half for him.
Confidence, I don't think, is going to be a problem for Zico Lewis. We've seen that from the Super Draft through now. He came out on stage and basically issued a warning to teams that didn't draft him, saying, hey, watch out. I'm a guy who could hurt you in the future. And so far, he's shown that. Very low to the ground, good center of gravity, very direct, knows what he wants to do. And he's got more vision than I think some thought he might have had on those wings. He gets in behind and he finds the right path towards getting the ball in the box. And he had one flit across that 6-yard box that Harrisburg was able to push out. He had another one he set up, Basulovic, that just went over the bar. A guy with a real promising future, someone you could see potentially fitting in at the MLS level as well.
New York Red Bulls 2 outshooting Harrisburg City 8-4 in that first half. 1 shot on target to 0 for Harrisburg City Islanders. Doesn't tell the full story. Manolo Sanchez had it pushed off his foot, and another diving save by Murillo. Good chances both ways. Both coaching staffs can be happy and a little upset, I think, with what they've seen so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. On Harrisburg City's side, you just got to test Ryan Meir. They haven't done it so far. A couple great plays in behind, a couple good opportunities, but really, really nice defensive plays from Red Bulls 2 to get in front of it and block it and keep it out. On the other side, Red Bulls 2 are dealing with something I think they'll have to deal with for most of the year, which is teams saying, okay, we're going to drop back. We're not going to give you those turnovers that you thrived off of in 2016. You're not quite as fast with the likes of Derek Etienne gone. How will you break us down? Prove it.
Ryan Meir only giving up 14 goals in 25 starts last season, his first start of the year. He's kept it clean so far. We'll be back in just a few moments with all your second half action here on the USL YouTube channel.
raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
As we go into Week 3 play, let's take a look back at Week 2 of the USL season. Set up by Nonsal Selbel, Carlton Belmar notched his second goal in as many games to secure the 1-0 win for Swope Park Rangers against his former team, Portland Timbers 2. Louisville City converted on 3 of their 8 shots on target to take the win over Orlando City B 3-1, with Orlando's only goal coming off an own goal before half. Louisville came out strong in the second half and were able to put the game away with goals from George Davis IV and Luke Spencer. The Rochester Rhinos jumped out to a 2-goal lead, but in extra time before half, Bethlehem Steel cut the lead to 1 thanks to a Charlie Davies PK. Coming in off the bench, Johan Graf was able to seal the 3-2 win in the final 2 minutes for Rochester. New York Red Bulls 2 played strong defense, shutting out the Richmond Kickers 1-0 in their inaugural game at MSU Soccer Park. Zico Lewis found the back of the net in the 69th minute for the Red Bulls. Andrew Wiedemann and GB led FC Cincinnati to the 1-0 win in Pittsburgh, as GB notched his second goal in as many games. The Riverhounds played most of the game with 10 men after Gale Agbasumade received his second yellow of the game in the 42nd minute. Phoenix Rising struggled to combine in the attacking half as the Real Monarchs took the 2-0 win at home, winning their second game in a row as Phoenix fell to 0-2 to start the season. 0-0 at half, the Charlotte Independents controlled 62% of the game's possession, but the Charleston Battery put 2 away within 7 minutes to top Charlotte 2-0 in the Southern Derby. 2 home games, 2 wins for the Tampa Bay Rowdies to open their USL slate. Michael Nanchoff led the team with 2 assists as he set up Damian Lowe and Georgie Ristoff early in the first half for the first 2 goals of the game, as the Rowdies handled Toronto FC 4-0. Oklahoma City Energy FC took to the road for the second week in a row as they faced off with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks in snowy conditions. The game ended in a 1-1 draw with first half goals for both sides as neither team was able to find the difference maker in the second half. Tulsa earned their second win of the season and handed RGV their second loss as Joey Calistri found the back of the net for Tulsa in the 31st minute. A sellout crowd of 5,566 watched St. Louis earn their first win of the season, a 3-2 victory over Ottawa Fury FC, thanks to an own goal deflection in the 88th minute. Billy Forbes led his team for the second week in a row, this week a goal and an assist in a 3-0 win over LA Galaxy 2. Rafael Castillo notched a goal for himself off Forbes' assist as San Antonio starts their 2017 season 2-0. Brennan Griffiths will be the name remembered for Reno 1868's first goal in the history of the club, but neither Reno nor Vancouver Whitecaps 2 could completely pull away as the game ended in a 1-1 draw. Wilson Nishon Sammy Ochoa led the charge as Sacramento Republic FC delighted a sellout crowd of 11,569 fans to a 4-0 win over Orange County FC. Nishaw finished the game with 1 goal and 1 assist, combining with Ochoa, who finished with 2 goals. And that's your look around the league. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
The teams are back out and ready to go as David Goss and Andrew Wiebe are here at Red Bull Arena for the second half of this USL matchup. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting the Harrisburg City Islanders, the second game of the season for the Islanders, the third game for Red Bulls 2, tied at 0-0 coming out of halftime. New York Red Bulls 2 out shooting this Harrisburg City team 8-4, but only 1 shot on goal between these two teams.
So far, neither goalkeeper truly been tested other than the 1 shot from Alex Mwil which was a rocket, but Brandon Wheeler stayed strong, stayed tall, was able to punch it out. Both teams look at this game and say, look, we've got an opportunity to take 3 points. We've created chances. We've limited the other side to half chances and maybe 1 or 2 moments of panic, but 45 more minutes of soccer to be played. This is where Red Bulls 2 will say, we did this before. We did this last year. We'll come out. We'll drop a couple goals on this team.
Well, we saw coming out of that locker room right there, Derek Etienne Jr. in the black jacket, the black hat, giving the team the high fives. He was a major part of what they did last year. A number of players from last year not here this year. New York Red Bulls 2 now an opportunity to prove that this team can do some of the similar things that last year's team did. I dropped the stat going into the break, 36 goals in the second half. From the 75th minute on, they were absolutely dominant last year. We'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, it's about the system, not necessarily the individuals. And the individuals at this level, especially with Red Bulls 2, because they're a developmental squad, are going to change. That's inevitable. Now we get to see whether that system will carry over, whether these players buy in as much as the 2016 squad did. Certainly some similarities, some overlap between the two, but some new faces trying to prove themselves for New York Red Bulls 2.
Abbas Mohammed there, number 18, the only yellow card so far in this game. A very strong first half for Harrisburg City. They should have had a goal in the opening seconds off the feet of Manolo Sanchez. Ryan Mira getting a big touch to knock that one away. And a number of other opportunities for shots in the end in that first half. But Harrisburg City's got to like what they've done so far, and they'll look to try and continue it here in the second half.
Aaron Wheeler is going to push himself up top, and they're going to try to play off him. It's not too complicated. They want to get in behind. They want to combine on those triangles on the outer portions of the midfield. The key point with this Red Bulls 2 side is where are they going to pressure? Predict that. Find a way to break the pressure, and once you do, you've got an opportunity to push forward toward goal.
Well, you saw running in front of Coach Wolenek, who we see on our camera, Junior Flemings, looking to warm up, got injured last year, a knee injury, missing the postseason, out from September on, and even with that injury, he was one of the top players on the team, 7 goals and 4 assists in just 23 appearances. So an option off the bench for Coach Wolenek. As I mentioned, no Ben Mines this week, so Andrew Tenari and Junior Flemings, the bulk of the attacking subs that Coach Wolenek can make. The Staten Island Messi, of course, New York Red Bulls, New York Metro Stars legend.
Staten Island Messi, huh?
Well, it was Messi before Messi was a person.
There you go. There's some weapons on that Harrisburg City bench as well, and that may not have been something that they had in 2016. When you look at the likes of Paul Wilson and Cardell Bimbo, those guys can come off and cause some problems with their speed, their creativity, their confidence in those wings.
Hassan Endam went down a little bit of a knock in the first half, but he's back out on the field and ready to go. Abbas Mohammed's been battling hard at that left wing, at that left back position. And he wins a throw in here for his side. Harrisburg City, as I mentioned off the top of the broadcast, entering their 14th season. Bill Belcher has been their coach all 14 of those seasons. Given the role of GM on top of head coach last year for Harrisburg City. He knows his way around this league better than anyone else. We saw last week with Lee Kalishaw a couple legacy coaches, Mike Anheuser as well, down at Charleston Battery, Bob Lilly, of course, at the Rochester Rhinos, coaches that know this league but know the game around this region and are able to find players where other people don't know where to look and continue to turn over players but keep their teams at a consistent level.
They know this league, but they also know that this league changes, and that's the key component to longevity and success at this level. The soccer environment has not stayed the same. USL up to Division II status now, talking about starting the Division III league as well. Things change. The player profile changes. The quality of competition changes as MLS clubs have begun to field. There's the offside flag there. But as MLS clubs begin to field more and more sides on their own, you see the talent level and the philosophy by each club and each coach change a little bit. And those are things you have to adapt to. And so far, Harrisburg trying to find their way right now after 2 straight seasons of missing the playoffs.
A number of expansion teams opening up this year. Reno putting on a show for their fans, scoring their first goal in their opening home game. Sacramento Republic, 4 goals in their first game. Sammy Ochoa, player who played down in Liga MX for a time, with a hat trick.
For the Seattle Sounders as well.
So much talent around the league, so many teams that are fun to watch.
So many more opportunities for players to continue their career and see where that growth pattern takes them over time.
Looks like Junior Flemings will be coming on in place of this man, Alex Wheel, in just a few minutes. Wheel, as we said, starting over 20 games for the first team last year, already 2 starts in MLS this year, actually asked to play in this game to get himself some more minutes. Looks like he'll get about 50 or 55 in this one. And then Junior Flemings, 9 goals, 7 assists last year, called up to the Jamaican Copa America preliminary roster. Coming back from that injury, will come on for New York and try and give them an offensive punch as they look to get their opening goal of this game. 3 goals in the first week against Pittsburgh, not the defensive performance they wanted. Then they get the shutout last week, just the 1 goal against Richmond, and now looking for their first goal today.
No Florian below in this game, and he's someone who's truly pulled the strings and been a finisher for this squad over the last year or so.
Great ball in for Najem. Najem gets the cross away, and it's blocked at that near post. Well read and cleared by Brent.
Great recovery run from Mike Ola there, all the way from his right wing position to track back with the outside back and make sure no service gets in.
Najem looking to switch the field, a mistake from him, but Sanchez is touched too long. It ends up at Murillo. Finally clips it to Allen, and Allen can't get over that ball and it slides wide. Thomas will clear it up the field towards Wheeler. Dan Metzger, and now his 3rd season of USL action out of the University of Maryland, looking dominant once again in this game in midfield, and Murillo's going to get called for the foul on Sanchez out wide right.
Great little touch to bring this down from Sanchez. Outside of the boot, on the run, deft touch. Murillo a little bit frustrated. Clips him, takes him down. Wasn't happy about that call. Booted the ball into the stands. Got to watch himself here.
Ryan Mira now will order his troops as a dangerous set-piece opportunity coming. It looks like Danny DePrima will be the one standing over this one, along with Abbas Mohammed. We've seen his ability to serve the ball with that left foot. Both center backs in the box, as well as Aaron Wheeler, to try and get on the end of this one. It'll be DePrima with the right-footed service to the far post. Murillo's able to battle off and let it run out of bounds.
DePrima scratching the back of his head, as I'm sure Bill Betcher is as well, because that's an opportunity that you have to put into a dangerous position. That was one of those that you can't waste as the Harrisburg City Islanders.
So Junior Fleming's up and talking to John Wolenek, as Mohammed causes the turnover, and then Metzger's slide tackle brings it back. And now there are 3 or 4 players sliding on the ground, and this one rolls out.
Talk about commitment from Dan Metzger. That's the reason why he has a first-team contract. Selling out to stop that counterattack. Possibility that Abbas Mohammed could be rolling downfield. In the end, he was rolling on the ground after a really well-timed tackle from Dan Metzger.
Vasilovic to the feet of Wheel, who's able to earn the free kick. Dan Metzger tore his ACL in July of 2015, worked his way back over the course of 10 months to finally return for New York Red Bulls 2. And Junior Flemings injured his knee in September of 2016, and here his 2nd appearance of the season, and he comes on for Alex Wheel.
Not going to miss him out there, are you? A little bit of a Giassi Zardes haircut. Make sure everybody can see who it is that's on the ball or who it is that's going after it.
Fleming's part of the Jamaican connection last year, along with Speedy Williams, who's at Louisville City this season. As Vasilovic touches that one just a little bit too hard, or doesn't get enough of a touch to it. But Fleming's now back in that wide attacking role, which he looked a little bit more comfortable in last year than the forward role in the 4-2-2-2 that he's played so far this year, and we'll see if that affects his performances.
Be more space for him, more opportunities to get out and run, and it's different defensively as well, and you can't underemphasize just how important that is in this Red Bulls 2 system. It's not just about what you can do going forward. It's about whether you understand your role in the press, where to be, when to press, how to time it, how to work with your teammates. Changing positions in this system isn't just a matter of, central or wide. It's a matter of timing. It's a matter of defensive responsibility.
Brandon Allen colliding heads there with Nishanian, and the game will stop. And let's take a second here to talk about Alex Wheel, who came off in the last 12 months, he comes in as a class of 6 homegrowns last year, 5 USL starts. He ends up pushing Gonzalo Verón, a designated player, to the bench to start consistently for New York Red Bulls, asked to come out here and play to get some more experience under his feet, to get himself a little bit more fit. What a player New York Red Bulls as a club have been able to create and now bring up.
Yeah, he understands what he has to bring to this club to stay on the field at the MLS level and at the USL level. There's no givens here, and players have to figure out a way to fit within the ecosystem that the Red Bulls have created. This is a puzzle that every single week the coaching staff, from the academy guys all the way up to Jesse Marsh, are putting together. Who plays what minutes, who needs to be seen in a certain spot, where do players fit, and it goes all across the board. And one of the most interesting parts about this USL team for the Red Bulls is that you're looking for players more so than game-changing individual talent, but you're looking for players who have the ability to fit into the system that you play at the first-team level long-term.
Bezecourt gets into the box. He clips it to the near post. Miller makes the save, but he goes out of bounds, and it'll be a corner kick coming to New York.
Bezecourt is the offensive engine. You can see him here. That burst. Oh, the give and go. He finds a way to get the loose ball back. Always seems to have the right touch to put it into space and to attempt to create something. Just didn't have that final product there. Needs to get his right foot around that, maybe cut it back.
Bezecourt, a St. Francis Brooklyn alumni, here in his second year as a professional player. The left-footed corner kick coming into the near post. Allen flicks it on. It's still alive in the box and finally cleared by Harrisburg.
What did we say about those first clearances? You got to make sure you get something on it. Otherwise, it'll sit up for somebody, and that's where Red Bulls will get the first goal, and then all of a sudden they'll be hungry for the second.
Michael Murillo gets it knocked away. It'll be a throw into New York. He goes all the way back to Endom. Endom wearing 2 different colored boots here, white and orange. That classic Franco Panizo look.
Oh, you beat me to it. I like the swag from the young man.
Murillo now going back after his turnover. Flemings with the head to the ball.
The acrobatic header.
And talking you were about the big picture. You listen to these players talking. Wheel gave an example of how to get to that next level for these players. Arun Basulovic was talking about how he's good friends with Matt Miazga, and he watched his success, and he watched the way that he grew, as Bezecourt now will pick up the first yellow card of the game for New York.
Absolutely a yellow card, a dangerous tackle there from Vincent Bezecourt, perhaps even lucky not to have more. Nick DePrima wasn't happy about, Danny DePrima wasn't happy about that one. Comes in trying to win the ball, a little bit of an over-aggressive play right there. Just the yellow, though. Have the warning. Make sure he doesn't do it again this game.
So it'll be a boss to take, Mohammed to take. He's looked impressive so far in this game. Seen that touch and ability that he has. Converted central midfielder to left back. Left-footed service to the far post. Knocked back in by Wheeler towards DePrima. Headed away by Murillo. Zico Lewis with the header on, and now Bezecourt going the other way. He's got Brandon Allen. He goes to the right to Flemings. Flemings now trying to get on his horse. Mohamed's able to close on him, makes the tackle, makes the second tackle, and now is able to get away. What a play by Abbas Mohamed, and DePrima taking it the other way as this game opens up. He goes down that right wing for Ola, and Ola's able to track it down before it goes out, tries to put it around the gem, and gives up a free kick.
What a play from Abbas Mohamed. You can see why the Harrisburg City Islanders are so high on this young left back. Junior Fleming, you thought, hey, is he going to get out in the open field and run? He just didn't quite look comfortable at full speed there. Didn't quite have his strides down, didn't have the ball control down. Mohamed takes it away and ignites the counterattack. Unfortunately, Mike Ola just can't get the ball around David and Jim.
Flemings, as we said, coming back from that long-term injury, still trying to get his feet in front of him. Great interception here by Sanchez. Can he make something happen before New York sets up? Gets it down the left wing to DePrima. Murillo trying to recover. Sanchez now tries to clip the left-footed cross and puts it out behind the goal.
But we mentioned in the first half, Hassan Ndam, the distribution, how would that work for him? Ill-advised out of the back line there, igniting the break for Harrisburg City. Those are the kind of opportunities that they're looking for. They're not going to go out and be overly aggressive, but if New York Red Bulls 2 are going to give them those, they're going to see what happens. Just poor service on the cross there from Sanchez.
Harrisburg City has had some great showings from the Sons of Susquehanna, back behind that left goal in the past 2 years here in USL. Of course, a midweek game making that a little bit tougher, but they'll be excited to see their team return home on April 15th at FNB Field. Go get tickets and get out to the stadium for that one as they face off against Bethlehem Steel. A Steel team looking to emulate what New York Red Bulls 2 has been able to do. New York Red Bulls 2 trying to emulate what they've been able to do themselves.
That's a high bar to hit every year.
So Fleming's
wrestling
goes down.
match there.
No call made. But Mohammed comes away with the clean tackle. DePrima losing out to Metzger. Good physicality in this game. Fleming's now in tight space. He's able to get away. Metzger down the right wing. Sanchez looking to close. The cross comes in. Still alive for New York. All the way back and defending is Grosh. And finally cleared out by Harrisburg. Basulovic open in the middle of the field. His pass blocked. Nishanian with the clearance. Short, though, to the feet of Basulovic. Game's starting to get a little bit more open. Metzger is now trying to find Bezecourt. Gets it wide to Flemings. Flemings comes inside. He's able to beat Mohammed easily. Doesn't have the layoff to Murillo and cleared by Mohammed.
This is what I would call New York Red Bulls 2 time. This is when legs start to get a little bit heavy, the pressure starts to get overwhelming, the ball gets pinned back in Harrisburg's half, and the Red Bulls are just waiting for a channel to open up, waiting for Harrisburg to try something and turn it over.
Bezecourt with the spin, and he takes the shot, and it goes over the top. And Andrew, for people at home, they saw Justin Bilyeu about 35, 40 yards from goal. He was the deepest player on the field for both teams as New York starts to turn the screws in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just looking for that moment when Harrisburg says, oh, maybe we have an opportunity to push out and try a ball they shouldn't. And once you start to get unbalanced, that's where New York Red Bulls 2 is going to punish you. Once you start to push out and your shape's not quite right and you make a play that you shouldn't, which happens from time to time, especially with the pressure they put on, all of a sudden that's where the scoring opportunities come from. And that goes double when the legs get tired. It's so early in the season, just the second game for Harrisburg City.
Ola with the great ball across the box, and it's taken by Mira. Interception coming there from Olabi'i. Olabi'i able to beat one. Tries to get the cross away, easily taken by Mira.
Olabi'i has the MLS pedigree, played in 2015 for Houston Dynamo. 7 games for them, a big frame, 6'5". Hasn't quite shown the class on the ball that you'd like to see from him so far. He's covering ground, he's involved in plays. When it comes to that final ball or holding possession or the sharpness that you want to see, just hasn't quite had that yet. But as I said, just the second game for Harrisburg City. This whole club, with as many changes they made, still trying to get into the rhythm of things, still trying to find the right relationships on the field. This is his first season with Harrisburg.
Fans, make sure to tune into USL's weekly show on SiriusXM FC Channel 85 on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest news and info from around the league. SiriusXM FC will also be showing the game of the week as Manolo Sanchez beats Ryan Mira and finally gets his goal. Coming back to the first place he played pro, Manolo Sanchez, a number of chances in the first half, and finally finishes it off in the second half.
A good finish by him, but it's not going to get much easier than that. That was a poor clearance from Michael Murillo. You can see this hopeful ball over the top. This should be dealt with. That's not a smart ball, a good 25 yards from the 18-yard box. Ryan Mira tries to come out and salvage that, but you can see him put his head down. He knows once Manolo Sanchez gets this touch right here, just beats him to the ball, flicks it over, he knows it's over. And Michael Murillo unhappy with himself. That was a mistake. Definitely should not have been trying to head back to his keeper. Had his center back standing right in front of him. All it takes is that easy header, and Red Bulls 2 are still at 0-0.
Manolo Sanchez, the first goal of 2017 for the Harrisburg City Islanders, gives his squad a lead against his old team here at Red Bull Arena. And to cap that off, just his 6th goal of his professional soccer career. What a moment for the Philadelphia native. As Harrisburg City Islanders looking to break the New York Red Bull 2 12-match regular season unbeaten streak, 17 matches overall. Ball goes wide to Murillo.
He's got to shake that off immediately. That's one that he's going to think about for a while. And a guy trying to get back in the rhythm of things, trying to get going after having a slow start to this season.
Basulovic gets called for the foul there, pulling back. Nishanian, as Miller now out. He's got a couple words to say to either his defender or the referee. Basulovic runs back. We had just talked about how New York was starting to turn on the pressure. Harrisburg struggling to get out of their own defensive third, and then bam, they hit back the other way and take their first lead.
Red Bulls, too, usually the team that are creating those mistakes, that are forcing teams into errors that lead to goal. There's no other way to describe that. That was an error by Michael Murillo. That's one he will want back. That's one that on tape I'm not sure you took too much away from if you're Red Bulls 2 coaching staff, other than to say you simply can't do that. That's out of the question at that position with the sort of pressure that we're putting on right now. But he'll learn, and those are the sorts of things that happen when you're coming back and you're a little rusty and you haven't gotten much action this year in a competitive game.
Zico Lewis was the story of the first half, quiet second half. He's now swapped wings over to this right side. So right after the goal, him and Fleming switching sides. See if that can get this attack going for New York, as Harrisburg City Islanders currently sitting on what would be an incredible start to their season. To go the first 2 games on the road, to come home with 3 points, just 1 goal conceded, would be a perfect start for Coach Belcher's side. Ryan Mira there, conceding his first of the season in his first start. Backstopped 11 shutouts last year, and this won't be one of them. And now Harrisburg can sit back and try and hit on the break, as New York has to put the pressure forward. Metzger draws the foul. And Metzger, USU 23 international. Before injuring himself, looked like he was going to be a big part of Olympic qualifying for the competition in Brazil in 2014. Zico Lewis, acres of space here, the Bermudan international. Basulovic put under pressure. Great tackle by Ola, and he just clears it out of his half. Allows his team to reset. You can see John Grosh out in midfield starting to direct numbers around to try and get his lines cleaned back up. Flemings gets a fortunate touch off Thomas. He goes down. And it looks like we might be seeing our second yellow card of the game. So now both fullbacks for this Harrisburg side have yellow cards.
Not sure what Thomas is arguing here. Pretty clear yellow card foul. Takes down Flemings from behind. Just unlucky there. Kind of slipped, opened up the opportunity. Flemings bursting toward goal. Feels that clip from behind, goes down, gets a dangerous set-piece opportunity. And this is where Harrisburg City had trouble against the Richmond Kickers. Can Red Bulls 2 take advantage?
Jamie Thomas started 27 matches last year, then went and played indoor soccer with the Baltimore Blast in the offseason. Back now with Harrisburg City, his second start in just as many games. New York Red Bulls 2, need a little stroke of luck here. This is a great opportunity for them in the 67th minute. It's taken, headed down by Thomas very easily at the top of the box. A second look at it for New York coming. They go across the field to Bilyeu. Bilyeu now goes wide to Lewis. Lewis one-on-one with Sanchez, our goal scorer. Allen can't bring that one down, and it's cleared by Grosh.
Grosh is an interesting story. A guy who played last year for Hershey FC in Pennsylvania, MPSL, earned a spot with this team after that 4-year career at Drexel, Just a solid player. Not a guy who's going to wow you in possession, not a guy who's going to beat you 1v1. Get on the ball, complete passes, move, rinse, wash, repeat.
Almost a dangerous pass there for Ola Bi'i. Fortunate for him, a substitution coming now for New York. It looks like Kevin O'Toole is going to be the player coming on as Michael Murillo's night is done. So the first 68 minutes of his Red Bull career for Michael Murillo, it ends on a sour note. What did you see in total from him?
He's going to be disappointed inevitably because of that goal that he gave away there. A rusty night for him. Not a guy right now that you see and say, okay, he's at the top of his game, he's on form, he's ready to go. But that's what this Red Bulls 2 team is about for some of these MLS players that come down, is finding rhythm, getting ready for those opportunities that both the first team and the USL level, because as you saw here, he's just got that little layer of rust that he's trying to break off, and a guy that the first team thinks could be an option.
Lewis is able to get into space. The ball goes back wide to Bezecourt, who saves it. He's got that good left foot, tries to mag Mohammed, and Mohammed handles it easily.
You like his confidence, though. He saw the wickets. He said, you know what? I think I can find those.
Quickly taken back into Metzger. So Kevin O'Toole comes on. He'll go to left back. David Najem will swap back to right back, which he played heavy minutes for New York Red Bulls too last season at. O'Toole just an academy player, but what an opportunity he's had with this new system New York has set up. This now his 15th professional soccer game. He started in a USL Cup final as an academy player, committed to go to Princeton, of course Jesse Marsh's alma mater, but yet to even go to college. Ola comes up from that slide tackle, limping, and it'll be the last play of the game anyway for him as Cardell Benbow will check in. So the Bloomfield, New Jersey native Mike Ola off now after about 70 minutes of work. Cardell Benbow, the young Jamaican player we talked about, off the bench, the first move of the game for Coach Belcher. Benbow, 2 goals and 2 assists last season.
A good shift for Mike Ola. Came into this game, we hadn't seen him in that opener. Direct, fast, physical, understood how to defend against this Red Bulls 2 team. And part of defending against this team is not losing the ball in bad areas, and he didn't do it in this game. Unfortunate not to create a few better chances, but a good shift from him. And now Benbow gets his opportunity. Maybe bring a little bit of direct play, some fresh legs, that speed. Right now, though, with the 1-0 lead, you wonder, what's the balance for Bill Betcher and his guys? How do they figure out, okay, now's the time to go, or now's the time to stay? What's the balance of the game for them for these last 20 minutes or so?
Ball clipped over by Basulovic, turned over. With Ola going out, the Montclair State University alumni, last chance to mention, not last chance, I'm going to do it a lot. April 14th, 7 p.m., New York Red Bulls 2 return to Montclair State University Soccer Park, where they will play the remaining season, all but one game there. That a 7 p.m. game, so make sure to check out tickets, get out there, and as we said, $1 hot dog night for that one. It's a great, small, intimate atmosphere, a chance to see some of the top players in the area, last year's USL champions, up close and personal as Miller put under a little bit of pressure. Gets it clear to Benbow. Benbow, his first touch.
Math isn't your strong suit. That's 3 beers and 5 hot dogs for $20. I mean, come on now. That's a nice Friday night.
Zico Lewis is able to get in. He tries to clip it around Miller, and he misses the goal.
Oh, my. Head in his hands down. He's staring up at the heavens saying, how? How on earth did I miss this one? A beautiful piece of play to get in behind, and you think, you know what? A little bit of composure, a strong finish to a corner, or anywhere the goalkeeper's not, and that is a goal, and that's the game-tying goal. This is unfortunate. Great ball from Brandon Allen over the top, and that touch, look at that balance. Oh, the left foot just let him down.
Abbas Mohammed's been under pressure all second half. He's risen to the challenge, continuing to deflect attack after attack from Junior Flemings and anyone else who's come down that right wing. Finally makes a little mistake, and Zico Lewis can't take advantage. Lewis now back on the ball. We know one thing about him is his confidence won't waver too much. The young Bermudan international trying to go in between 2 defenders. Great tackle there by Ola Bi'i. And now Mohammed trying to work out of space. Turns it over. Najem to Metzger. Metzger flicks it through, the run for Bezecourt. And he's just guided off that ball, and it goes out for a goal kick.
I think it was about 65 degrees when I got to Red Bull Arena tonight, and Zico Lewis is wearing gloves. I'm not sure why that is. By my count, he's the only player on the field, but these are the things that I think about during the stoppages of play.
He's from Pembroke, Bermuda.
That's a good point. Good point.
Not really in the mood for this weather. 22-year-old out of Boston College. Graduate of Berkshire Academy in Massachusetts, the all-time leading goal scorer at that school, which means he pipped out a one Jack Harrison, NYCFC starting midfielder. As this ball go through for Benbow, Ryan Meir reads it well, and Benbow was offside anyway.
That's what he'll bring, though, that ability to get in behind those center backs. Test them, get off the shoulder, make sure that they're looking in about a 360-degree angle at all times. That's where the chances will come from. Harrisburg are not going to push too many numbers forward. They understand the position they're in.
A great opportunity to maybe get what would be their first win of the season and an incredible opening road stretch to go home with 3 points and a shutout of the all-time leading goal scorers in USL last season, scoring 69 goals. They had a plus 40 goal differential. That was more than the amount of goals Harrisburg City scored. And this new and improved Harrisburg City Islanders team now sitting on a 1-0 lead on the road at Red Bull Arena.
If this holds, it's a result that coaches and players and observers around USL will raise their eyebrows at and say, what is going on in Harrisburg this year? And was that 1-0 loss at the Kickers just an unlucky result? Certainly they dominated that game in terms of possession, in terms of chance creation, and they had the opportunity to tie it had Aaron Wheeler just finished that penalty past Travis Wara. But this would be a win that they could put on their resume and say, hey, we're for real. On the flip side, for Red Bulls 2, a little bit of a slow start. That win last weekend wasn't vintage performance, and then 3-3 against Pittsburgh was not the defensive side of things that they want. Still looking to find their way, but still also about 16 minutes to figure this out, see if they can find some goals in the second half.
Jamie Thomas with the ball in to the feet of DePrima. Cross comes in from Benbow, and it deflects out for a corner kick. First corner kick of the second half here for Harrisburg City. They've defended most of this half. They've taken advantage of their one big opportunity. Manolo Sanchez right now sitting on the game-winning goal against his former team, the Philadelphia native, back in his home state for the first time professionally and traveling back to Harrison. It'll be a corner kick coming here. The in-swinging left footer for Mohammed. It's over the head of everyone, and it goes out for a goal kick.
You can see what they think about him to have the left back come up and take these free kicks. Got a good foot on him, some good skill. Physically, he's shown to have the speed and the strength that he needs. Just a matter of getting settled with this team, getting used to the style of play in USL and the lifestyle here in the U.S.
One substitute used so far for Harrisburg City, 2 so far for New York. Both teams still the ability to change this game. Jamie Thomas goes down, no call made. Now Travis Brent coming away with it. A veteran of the Dutch Eredivisie. Is Brent out of Marshall University. He's got a Dutch mother, allowed him to go play overseas for 2 years in the first and second division in Holland before returning to Harrisburg City. Grosch now on the ball. He's able to work out of pressure. Now he puts Brent under pressure.
And those are those little sloppy touches from OBE that we've seen this game. Those can't happen in central midfield, especially against this Red Bulls 2 team.
Basulovic in space, goes wide to Brandon Allen, last year's leading goal scorer. The cross comes in, and it's headed away. Nishanian probably happy to see that cross come in as his team was under pressure. Lewis goes wide to Najem, who swapped over from that left back position with the substitutions, showing his versatility. Now Lewis in open space. He has a chance to cross to the far post. Miller with the punch, and it'll go out for a corner kick.
Had all night to set up that cross. Absolutely no pressure from Harrisburg City. You saw Manolo Sanchez a little bit winded after that little battle in the corner. Great ball in here, and that's whipping inside the back post. Brandon Miller has to come out here and get that.
Corner kick coming now for New York. Can they make one count? Away at the near post. Still in play. Bezecourt charges onto it, gets the first header. And it's put out for a throw-in by the City Islanders. Time's starting to run down on New York if they can try and stretch that unbeaten regular season streak to 13 games. Endom now the last man back. And he's able to beat anyone else to that ball and get it to the feet of Najem. Metzger goes wide. Zico Lewis with the flick and the turnover. And now Mohammed looking for a chance to run, and Metzger able to clean up the mistake with a slide tackle.
Metzger's had a couple of those huge tackles on Abbas Mohammed. Had an opportunity maybe to burst down the left side. Here he comes, sliding, completely outstretched to knock it out of play. But you can see when the Red Bulls are on the ball, the only player providing any pressure anywhere high up the field is Aaron Wheeler. The rest of the team, all 10 players, back behind, making sure that their shape is right, that the space is compacted, that Red Bulls 2 don't have anything to work with.
Ola Bi'i going down after a collision with Metzger. Dan Metzger, a guy who was a staple last year, this year signed to New York Red Bulls, loaned down for the last 2 games. He's a guy people are talking about as ready to play at that next level. Tyler Adams starting the last 2 games at holding midfield in place of Dax McCarty. What have you seen from Metzger over these last 2 games?
Yeah, Metzger's aggression, his ability to win the ball and cover ground in the midfield really makes him a good fit for the system that the Red Bulls play, and that's why you saw him get that first-team opportunity. He's clean on the ball, and he'll win it back for you, and those are what they look for. The issue is there's some real talent in front of him at the MLS level. Tyler Adams is maybe the most hyped prospect right now in the pipeline, not named Christian Pulisic, and that's saying an awful lot about the young man. Sean Davis, we know.
An awful lot.
Or that's saying an awful lot. We know Sean Davis has the talent to be a starter at the MLS level, still getting his feet under him after the trade of Dax McCarty, and nobody's pushing Felipe out of that lineup. So opportunities, they're not going to be easy to come by. Perhaps he can push his way in via injury or poor form.
DePrima able to beat Bilyeu in the ball out. Harrisburg handling that high pressure, though, from New York as they scrambled to get the ball back very well. Jamie Thomas throws it into Benbow. And Benbow's able to put it off of Flemings and out for a corner kick. A great play there for the City Islanders. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. And, of course, don't forget, every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, you can go to Sirius XM FC Channel 85 for the USL's weekly show for all your news and information around the league, as well as for the USL Game of the Week. You can check that out at USLsoccer.com. Danny DePrima gets the start once again for this team. A big performance from him as he tries to hold off the talent on the bench and keep his spot. And now Thiago Calvano, a center back, coming in.
Yeah, it tells you all you need to know about what these last 10 or so minutes look like for Harrisburg City. They're going to go defensive. They want to lock this one down. They've got their goal. Now it's about holding on.
Mir is able to punch it away as DePrima goes to the bench. Only 6 starts last year, already 2 so far this season as he steps in to the role to fill for Jose Barril as well as Bobby Warshaw. Now a chance for Flemings in behind the defense. Thomas looks to recover. Flemings cuts across goal and slips, doesn't even get a shot away. Now Lewis cleans it up. Harrisburg City scrambling defensively, trying to get some numbers back. Zico Lewis in a battle with Jamie Thomas, and a free kick goes against New York.
Oh, golden opportunity for Red Bulls too. Junior Flemings on the break, pushing down the left side, just has to get his head up and either get the shot off early or find Brandon Allen on the back post who was begging for the tap in. It was there, it was on. Just not the vision or the sharpness from Junior Flemings. And that shouldn't be a huge surprise. Still working his way back from that injury, still getting back into these first team games and trying to find some rhythm. We saw against Richmond Kickers, had a wide open header from the middle of the box. Should have put it on frame, didn't. Still a work in progress for him right now in 2017.
You just can't replicate live games. Everyone says it. Working back from injury, Flemings here.
Seemed like the pace of play maybe was a little bit too much for him in that period. Had to make the decision quicker and know the options that were in front of him.
Basilovic trying to let that ball go through to Allen. It doesn't make it there. And now Najem is able to at least keep possession for New York. New York's had their chances. Zico Lewis, one-on-one with Brandon Miller. He can't finish. Junior Flemings on that opportunity, as well as Wheels. A couple of opportunities in the first half, but so far only Manolo Sanchez has made it count, giving his team a 1-0 lead. Najem off the short corner, floats it in. Flemings rises at the far post and puts it over the top of the crossbar.
As we were saying, another chance falls to Junior Flemings. Great positioning from him, understands where he needs to be, and the service from David Najem was spot on. Just the timing of the jump wasn't quite there, and that means the trajectory of the shot wasn't there as well, and does not test Brandon Miller, who's got to be thinking, okay, we avoided one right there.
Miller made a huge save in the first half on Wheel. Saw maybe a fortunate miss from Zico Lewis here in the second half as this throw-in goes in favor of Harrisburg City as their whole sideline is calling for it. You see the smile there on Mike Ola's face. His team's got a huge 1-0 lead thanks to that man, Manolo Sanchez. Sanchez, a Puerto Rican international, 1 goal in international play so far, and a handful of caps for the Puerto Rican international team. Almost scored a goal against the U.S. national team against Jurgen Klinsmann's side a year or so ago.
Scored that goal against India from the spot. A nation of more than 1 billion.
They've lost to Puerto Rico and Guam over the last 2 years. It's been a tough run for the Indian national team. Pressure now put on by Flemings. Miller goes straight down the other way. He's got a great ball in for Benbow. Bilyeu gets a touch, but still Harrisburg City's ball. Bilyeu with the tackle in open space, and he's able to slow that attack. Harrisburg City sitting on this 1-0 lead. They're not in too big a rush to go anywhere. They'd love to double it, though. O'Toole falls down. Benbow with the cutback. Bezecourt trying to help. He slides down. Still alive in the box. Looks like it hit a couple arms. And now finally New York can clear.
That one's not going on the Kevin O'Toole highlight reel right there. He got spun. He got flipped. The Young Academy guy having a little bit of trouble with the Jamaican.
What great work from Brandon Allen there. 3 defenders on him. Got that ball out in front of Flemings, but Jamie Thomas was able to track it down. Thomas, a 4-year starter at St. John's University before coming over to Red Bull 2, which means I've watched Jamie Thomas play soccer for like 8 years at this point of my life. Good connection between us as David Najem comes down the right wing. Lewis with some space. Najem now can cross if he wants. Brings it in middle to Metzger. Metzger to the feet of Allen, who can't hold off Nishanian. And now it goes wide left to O'Toole. Does New York Red Bulls 2 have that magic left from last year's championship run? It falls in the box, past Flemings. Now Zico Lewis with the back heel. Basulovic looking for Allen, and it's intercepted by Nishanian. And now they get it to the feet of Aaron Wheeler, who's going to look to hold this play up a little bit. He uses Sanchez as a decoy, plays it back to Olabi'i. Sanchez down the line for Wheeler. Endom over. He wins possession and gets it to the feet of Najem. New York getting a couple half looks in this late in this second half after conceding that goal to Manolo Sanchez. Bilyeu to the feet of Flemings. Flemings cuts infield. Bezecourt now goes wide to Lewis. Lewis on the right side of the box. Gets it by Mohammed. Cuts the cross back. Nishanian with the block.
That agility from Zico Lewis has opened up space time and time again. Suckers in the defender with the little pause, and then it's the touch, and he's got the burst. You can see him get right by.
A 63rd minute goal right now for Manolo Sanchez, the difference in this one. New York Red Bulls 2 are on the verge of losing their undefeated streak that stretches back deep into last season. They went 9-0-1 to close out the regular season, have started 1-0-1 so far in this season. And that doesn't include that USL Cup run. The gem too slow for Bezecourt, and Wheeler's able to earn the free kick. It looks like Dan Metzger is going to pick up a yellow card. So 2 apiece right now for either side.
Aaron Wheeler punching the ground, and that's not a good sign if you're a Harrisburg City Islander fan. Or Bill Betcher. This is a guy they've built around this season. They expect to be a top-tier striker in this league, and who missed most of last year with that collarbone injury. Looks to be okay, maybe a little bit of a stinger there, but certainly not a moment that you want to see, especially late on in this game.
Manolo Sanchez, the 79th pick in the 2015 Super Draft out of Clemson University, transferred there from Louisville. An original New York Red Bull 2 player in the opening season, started 23 of 24 games, had 4 goals, including the first ever playoff goal, as well as 3 appearances in Major League Soccer for New York Red Bulls. And right now, his goal, the difference for Harrisburg City Islanders here at Red Bull Arena. Zico Lewis with the long ball. Allen trying to outrace Nishanian. Nishanian able to handle that one, and then he clears it out.
Been solid all night, Lee Nishanian. Came over from LA Galaxy too, has read the game well, has been aggressive in the right moments, and his distribution has been good into those midfielders' feet. So far, these center backs have really acquitted themselves well, as they did in their opener. Just unlucky on that set piece not to get a draw or maybe even a win should Aaron Wheeler have finished that penalty.
The gem trying to dribble in. Allen goes to ground. We said 54 goals conceded for Harrisburg last year. Defense was a key focus in the offseason, and man, have they improved that position with Calvano, the NASL best 11 center back coming off the bench here on the ball.
And you figure he'll try to push his way into this lineup. Still early, the performance was good in week 1 from Travis Brent and Lee Nishanian. But over time, competition is going to be a good thing for this team, and that's where that depth will come into play. That's where they see an opportunity.
Bilyeu, the long ball. Lewis now with the long touch, and it goes out for a goal kick as time starts to tick down on this New York Red Bull 2 team. Harrisburg City Islanders sitting on what would be a great result to start out the season. 2 road games, only 1 goal conceded so far, and they are currently leading the New York Red Bulls 2, Red Bull Arena 1-0. Wheeler able to push Ndam off the ball, but still New York comes away with it. Bilyeu just immediately goes long. Zico Lewis holds it up with his touch. Cross towards Flemings. Thomas intercepts. Bezecourt's touch is too long. Now O'Toole pushing it down the left wing. New York going more direct in these 15 minutes than I think we saw them go almost the entire season last year. They won 21 matches, going 21-3-6. As I said, it 9-0-1 to close out the year and a USL Cup championship, but that streak of undefeated games could be broken here. Just a few minutes left for them to recover it. What a tackle from Mohammed in open play on Lewis. Now Mohammed goes by Metzger, who's got a yellow card, so he can't pull him down. Mohammed still dribbling away, looking to waste some clock. We approach stoppage time.
Tricky player, but that was unwise. He's got to find a way to find some feet.
Flemings runs straight into Brent. We enter stoppage time here. It'll be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time as New York Red Bulls 2 try and hang on to their unbeaten streak. The clock goes up there. Harrisburg City Islanders 10th in the Eastern Conference in 2016. They made 6 straight postseason appearances, running up to 2014 where they made it to the championship. Andrew, this would be a great result to start their season with here in just their 2nd game before even having a home game, getting a win against last year's champions.
Yeah, definitely something for City Islanders to build on. There's no doubt about that. This was a game that I have to imagine they circled on the calendar just 2 games into the 2017 season, and they'll look back and say, oh, that 10-1 scoreline from 2016, maybe we were right. Maybe it wasn't quite such a drastic difference between the 2 of us, and certainly with the improvements that they've made to this squad, I think they look at this season and say, okay, it's time. Let's get back to the playoffs. I do think, though, they got to figure out how they're going to create more chances up top. This game was about attrition. They managed to get theirs off a mistake, but not enough clear chances created to look forward to the rest of the season and say, we've got this thing figured out.
Abbas Mohammed already waving to come back on as Kevin O'Toole took that throw in. He's at the midfield line with his hand up, finally allowed back on, so even 11's here as we are about a minute and a half into the minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time, although that injury occurred after the board went up, so that might add a couple seconds. O'Toole looking for the feet of Bezecourt. Great tackle there by Grosh. His first year with the Harrisburg City Islanders at Drexel University. Closing minutes here. Harrisburg leading 1-0 on the Manolo Sanchez 63rd minute goal. Metzger clips the ball over the top to Najem. Najem with the header. Allen in the middle of the box. It's headed away by Brent. And finally put out by Sanchez as New York looks to rush the ball back in. It'll be Zico Lewis's cross this time, and Fleming's his header flashes just wide of that near post.
Putting the pressure on. They know where this is going. Stoppage time coming. You've got to find that opportunity now. You got to go direct. And Zico Lewis whips this ball in. The second time we've seen him have an opportunity with that left foot and put good service into the box, but a really tough header for Junior Flemings. To get that inside the near post, that would have had to be perfect. It was not. Here comes the goal kick as Harrisburg City Islanders try to kill this game off.
Brandon Miller to take it, looking for his first shutout in his Harrisburg City Islanders career. Manolo Sanchez, our winning goal scorer, puts it down the line for Benbow. And Benbow called offside.
Looking like this might be the last chance. You figure Ryan Mira just whoops it up into the box, see if maybe it'll fall, see if somebody can get on the end of it. Time running out for Red Bulls 2.
2 minutes and 50 seconds into stoppage time. Our referee's got his hands up. This might be the last kick. Brandon Allen's offside. The flag goes up on this near side immediately. Brandon Allen hasn't had a lot of looks this game and just an inch offside.
Nope, hasn't. That was the opportunity for Red Bulls 2. Fully expecting it off this goal kick here, or excuse me, this offside. You're going to hear that whistle blow. Be interesting to see how Harrisburg City Islanders react to this one, should they walk away with 3 points.
New York has outshot Harrisburg City 13-5, but 1-1 on shots on target. Harrisburg City making the only one that they needed to count. The whistle still yet to go. Sanchez clips it over the top to Mira. Mira takes it. He'll have to blast it long. Not a lot of time left. Almost 4 minutes into stoppage time. Allen loses out on the header. Nishanian with that win. Olabi'i. He's got space down the right side. He plays it into the path of Benbow. One-on-one now with the academy player O'Toole. Trying to put the exclamation point on it, Manolo Sanchez. And he curls it just wide, and that'll be it. New York Red Bulls 2, 12 matches unbeaten in the regular season, outscored Harrisburg City 10-1 in 2016. Harrisburg City Islanders coming back with a 1-0 win here at Red Bull Arena in 2017. What a performance for the City Islanders squad.
Huge win for the City Islanders. Come into Red Bull Arena where not many teams escaped without being on the wrong end of a blowout in 2016 and get a huge victory that'll give them confidence going into the rest of the season, that things have changed, that the last 2 years were a little bit of a fluke, that this is a team that'll be back in the playoffs where they expect to be year on year.
Manolo Sanchez, drafted by New York Red Bulls in 2015, back in his native state, Pennsylvania. He comes to Harrison, New Jersey. He gets the winning goal to break that regular season streak, an undefeated streak of 17 matches for New York Red Bulls 2. And Harrisburg City Islanders now their first 3 points of the season and their first goal. We'll be back in just a minute with all your match highlights, as well as a preview of your next match here on the USL YouTube channel.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Rips the shot and puts it home.
What precision, what power, really making a statement.
The header's in, and the crowd goes wild.
New York Red Bulls 2, they're the 2016 USL Cup final champions.
Ready to go. Big time atmosphere here at Red Bull Arena. Wide shot saved by Robles. Bradley right for it. Has scored! The ultimate scoring machine. And New York is on fire. Hashtag New York is red. And who would argue with him?
David Goss and Andrew Ruby back here at Red Bull Arena as Harrisburg City Islanders, an incredible result for them, get a 1-0 win on the road. And early on, they got some good looks. It looked like maybe they'd let them go, Weeby, but then eventually able to get the win.
It would be a mistake. Look, Red Bulls 2 had their opportunities, and you can see here they got to the end line, and Zico Lewis just couldn't quite get up, or excuse me, Vincent Bezecourt couldn't quite fit that inside. But a staunch defensive performance from Harrisburg City Islanders, and here's where the goal comes from. This is a mistake. There's no doubt about it. Thinks he can get it back to Ryan Meir. Ryan Meir just can't get out, and Manolo Sanchez, the former Red Bulls 2 player back in 2015, that inaugural year, nicks it by, and then that's as easy as a finish as you'll get. 1-0 Harrisburg City Islanders, a huge victory for them in just their second game of the season.
Ball clipped over by Brandon Allen to Zico Lewis for what was maybe the best look of the game for New York. Lewis and Fleming's a few chances in the second half. Lewis scored in his opening professional game against Richmond. Couldn't get it done there. New York out shooting Harrisburg City Islanders 15-6. Harrisburg City Islanders making it count, though.
Doesn't matter. 1-0, that's the stat that counts, according to Bruce Arena. In this case, that's who the points go to. A huge road win for Harrisburg City Islanders.
So the Harrisburg City Islanders move to 1-1 on the season. They head home Saturday, April 15th to face off against the Bethlehem Steel FC in their home opener. New York Red Bulls 2 will go on the road this weekend at St. Louis FC, 8:30 p.m. at Toyota Stadium. For David Goss, Andrew Wiebe, Mike Demmel, Rich Kaufman, Paul Hawkins, and everyone here at New York Red Bulls 2, thanks so much for watching, and have a good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.